Imagine an empire stretching across 3 continents, a superpower that dominated the world for over 600 years. This was the Ottoman Empire. At its height, its wealth was legendary, its armies seemingly invincible, and its capital, Istanbul, the center of the world. But how did a small Anatolian principality build such a colossal economic machine? The story of the Ottoman Empire's wealth isn't just about sultans and palaces. It's a masterclass in economic engineering that powered one of history's greatest empires. It all started with land. The Ottomans developed a brilliant system called the Timar. Instead of paying soldiers a salary, the Sultan granted them the right to collect revenue from a piece of land. These soldiers, known as Timarites, were responsible for managing the land and maintaining order. In return, they had to be ready for war at a moment's notice, fully equipped, and with their own retinue of troops. This system was ingenious. It funded a massive, loyal cavalry force without draining the central treasury. More land conquered meant more timers to grant, creating a self-fueling cycle of expansion. This system not only provided military might, but also ensured the lands were productive and administered efficiently, forming the very backbone of the early Ottoman state. But land was just one piece of the puzzle. The true genius of the Ottomans was their control over geography. In 1453, when Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror captured Constantinople, he didn't just seize a city. He seized control of the world's most critical trade artery. The Silk Road, the ancient network connecting the East and the West, now ran directly through Ottoman territory. Every caravan carrying spices, silks, and precious goods had to pass through their lands. The Ottomans also dominated the eastern Mediterranean and the Black Sea. This strategic chokehold allowed them to impose taxes, tariffs, and customs duties on a massive volume of global trade. Venetian, Genoese, and other European merchants had to pay for the privilege of trading, pouring immense wealth into the Sultan's coffers. The empire became the world's ultimate middleman. Conquest itself was a highly profitable business. Every military victory brought in a flood of wealth. Conquered cities were plundered for gold, silver, and other valuables, a practice known as war booty. Defeated states were often forced to pay huge sums of tribute, an annual payment to acknowledge Ottoman superiority and avoid further attack. These payments were a steady stream of income that helped finance further campaigns. The cycle was relentless. Conquest funded the army, and the army fueled more conquest. This aggressive expansion, especially in the 5th, 10th, and 16th centuries, under powerful sultans like Selim I and Suleiman the Magnificent, rapidly filled the imperial treasury. To run this vast empire, the Ottomans needed a loyal and efficient administration and military. Their solution was the Devşirme system, one of the most unique institutions in history. Periodically, the empire would levy a tax of boys from Christian families in the Balkan territories. These boys were taken to Istanbul, converted to Islam, and given the finest education and training. The most talented became high-ranking officials, governors, and viziers. The strongest and most disciplined were inducted into the elite Janissary corps, the Sultan's personal infantry. This system was incredibly cost-effective. It created a class of administrators and soldiers who were completely loyal to the Sultan alone, as they had no family ties or regional loyalties within the empire's power structure. They were slaves of the state, yet they held the highest positions of power, forming an incorruptible and highly effective ruling class that cost the treasury very little. As the empire expanded, it absorbed some of the world's most fertile regions. The conquest of Egypt in 1517 was a game-changer. Egypt was the breadbasket of the Mediterranean, its Nile Valley producing enormous surpluses of grain. The tax revenue from Egyptian agriculture alone was staggering, providing a massive and reliable source of income for Istanbul. Similarly, the fertile plains of the Balkans contributed significantly to the empire's food supply and tax base. These agricultural heartlands ensured the empire could feed its massive armies and the burgeoning population of its cities, all while generating immense wealth through taxation. Trade within the empire was just as important as international trade. A vast network of roads and caravan routes crisscrossed the Ottoman lands. At strategic points, the state built caravanserais, fortified inns where merchants could rest and trade in safety. For this security, the government charged tolls and customs duties. Every bridge, mountain pass, and port was a source of revenue. The state also controlled valuable natural resources. Silver mines in the Balkans, copper mines in Anatolia, and salt mines across the empire were all state-owned or heavily taxed, providing the raw materials for currency and industry, and another direct line of income for the treasury. The Ottomans were also masters of financial innovation. They implemented a system called tax farming, or iltizam. The state would auction off the right to collect taxes in a particular region to the highest bidder. This tax farmer would pay the government a fixed sum up front, and then keep whatever they could collect above that amount. This guaranteed the state a steady, predictable income, shifting the risk and administrative burden of tax collection onto private individuals. The empire also established state monopolies on key commodities like salt and tobacco, controlling their production and sale to maximize profit. Furthermore, the Islamic concept of waqf, or religious endowments, played a crucial role. Wealthy individuals would donate property and assets to create charitable foundations. These endowments funded mosques, schools, hospitals, and public fountains. This was a form of social welfare that significantly reduced the financial burden on the central government. The state didn't have to pay for many essential public services, freeing up funds for the military and the court. The waqf system was the invisible engine of Ottoman civil society, underpinning its stability and prosperity. For centuries, this intricate economic system worked brilliantly. The Ottoman Empire was a global economic powerhouse, its treasury overflowing, its influence unmatched. But no empire lasts forever. The very forces that once powered its rise eventually led to its decline. The Age of Discovery in the late 15th and 16th centuries was a critical turning point. European explorers like Vasco da Gama found new sea routes to India, bypassing the Ottoman-controlled land routes. Suddenly, the empire's monopoly on east-west trade was broken. Spices and silks could now reach Europe directly by sea, cheaper and faster. This shift in global trade routes dealt a severe blow to the Ottoman economy, slowly strangling one of its most important sources of revenue. At the same time, the influx of cheap silver from the Americas into Europe caused massive inflation. This price revolution destabilized the Ottoman economy. The value of their silver currency plummeted, prices soared, and the fixed incomes of Timarite soldiers and officials were no longer enough to live on. This led to corruption and unrest. The reliable Timar system began to crumble. Finally, the nature of warfare was changing. The rise of gunpowder armies with expensive cannons and muskets made the traditional Ottoman cavalry less effective. Maintaining a modern, gunpowder-based army was far more expensive than the old Timar system, placing an immense strain on the state's finances. Over time, a combination of corruption, costly wars, territorial losses, and the failure to modernize its economy led to a long, slow decline. The sick man of Europe, as it was later called, could no longer keep pace with the rapidly industrializing powers of the West. The intricate economic machine that had sustained the empire for centuries finally ground to a halt. The story of the Ottoman economy is a powerful reminder that even the mightiest empires are built on fragile foundations. It's a tale of brilliant innovation and strategic mastery, but also a cautionary lesson on how shifts in global trade, technology, and finance can bring giants to their knees. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey into the economic heart of the Ottoman Empire fascinating, please like this video, subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. See you next time.